Good morning, ma'am. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Ars Maloles from Group 5 and we are going to discuss about 1935 Constitution. Let me start by giving you some information about it. The 1935 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before the granting of the Philippine independence with American-inspired constitution. The Philippine government would eventually pattern its government system after American government. Turning our attention now to given questionnaire.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rudy D. Gabino, BS Team 1J. For today's video, let's talk about what is document or artifacts say. So, let's start. All of the objects and artifacts housed in the museum run by the Philippines National Historical Commission are priceless pieces of our nation's past. The Filipino people imploring the aid of divine providence in order to establish a government that shall embody their ideals, conserve, develop, and patrimony of the nation, promote the general welfare, and secure to themselves and their posterity the blessing of independence under a regime of justice, liberty, and democracy, do ordain and promulgate this Constitution.
Philippines comprises all the territory ceded to the United States by the Treaty of Paris concluded between the United States and Spain on the 10th of December 1898, the limits of which are set forth in Article 3 of said treaty, together with all the islands embraced in the treaty concluded at Washington between the United States and Spain on the 7th day of November 1900, in the treaty concluded between the United States and Great Britain on the 2nd day of January 1930, and all territory which the present government of Philippines Island exercises jurisdictions.
The 1933 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government before the granting of the Philippine independence. With American-inspired constitution, the Philippine government would eventually pattern its government system after American government. The 1935 Constitution, which was established and had a political system that was nearly identical to the American one. The system required a representative government, an independent judiciary, and a president who would be elected at a large for a 4-year term and be able for one election.
What was the provenance or source of document artifact? There are some factors to consider when evaluating the document's credibility. One factor is the document's historical inspection to see whether there have been any updates or revisions to the document. Another is the document's very authorization or the raw copy itself, and an online source which can be subject to readability problems since the document that is being used. This particular activity assertion is linked to an online source.
The aspect of the document's historical investigation from the time of its creation contributes to a significant factor in the document provenance, as the modification may play a role in placing the manuscript original form, keeping in mind that being said that the alteration of such important historical files as the 1935 Constitution has the most certainly been subjected falsification and irony. So it's fair to believe that that these documents inquiry into history by alteration is impossible to claim very little about the regular amendments that the Congress has rendered for the document's authorization and approval.
A valuable article should not be fabricated because it acts as one of our historical republic's foundations. Credibility is defined without a doubt by a clear reference to the original copy of the document's manuscript. The explanation for using the Congress as one of the traditional sources of the text is that they had a significant role in its development. Regardless of which knowledge medium, such as the web or the internet, it was created through. As we analyze the Constitution's provenance, we should go back to the year of 1934, when the said Constitution was subjected to evaluation, which was originally passed as a resolution by the U.S. Congress under the administrations of former President Manuel L. Quezon. Referring to the Constitution instigated qualifications of the Constitution in 1935. And historically, it has been concluded that in the year of 1935, the 1935 Constitution was enacted.
Who authored the 1935 Constitution?
Delgado Manuel Rojas signs the Constitution. He was the leading member of the Committee on Style, also known as the Seven Wise Men, who had a significant impact on the final draft of the 1935 Constitution. Claro M. Recto was born in Chaong, Tayabas on February 8, 1890. He worked for a Bachelor of Arts at the Ateneo de Manila and finished a Master of Law degree at the University of Santo Tomas in 1914. From 1916 to 1919, he served as a legal advisor to the Philippine Senate. In 1919, he was elected as a representative of the 3rd District of Batangas and served as a House Minority Floor Leader. He was re-elected in 1922 and 1925. In 1924, Recto went to the United States as a member of Parliamentary Independence Mission. In the same year, he was admitted to the U.S. Bar by the Supreme Court. In 1934, a constitutional convention was held in accordance with the provision of the Tidings-McDuffie Act, which required the drafting of a constitution as part of the steps leading to Philippine independence. Recto was elected president of the convention. It was due mainly to Recto's sagacity and intellectual acumen that the convention succeeded in framing and approving on February 8, 1935, a constitution which would truly reflect the Filipinos' capacity to frame laws and principles that would govern their lives as free, responsible citizens in democracy.
In 1931, Recto was elected to the Senate on the platform of Democrata Party. He acted as Minority Floor Leader for 3 years. In 1934, he became Majority Floor Leader and President pro tempore of the Senate. He subsequently resigned his Senate seat when President Franklin Roosevelt appointed him to Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Recto left the Supreme Court in 1941 and was elected anew as Senator. In 1949, he was re-elected on the Nacionalista Party ticket. In 1957, he ran for the president but was defeated. Apart from his numerous legal treatises and literary work in Spanish, Recto is noted for his staunch nationalist stand on questions regarding political sovereignty and economic.
What was the context of the primary source production? Well, primary source production was about the national territory that all territories ceded to the United States by the Treaty of Paris included between United States and Spain together, with all the islands embracing the treaty and all the territory over which the present government of the Philippines is a republican state. All citizens may be required by law to render personal, military, or civil service. The Philippines renounces or as an instrument of national policy and adopts the generally accepted principle of international
Law is a part of the law of the nation. The natural right and duty of a parent should receive the aid and support of the government. The promotion of social justice to ensure the well-being and economic security of all the people should be the concern of the state.
Nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the law, private property, the right of the people to be secure, the liberty of the abode, the privacy and communication and correspondence, the right to form association or societies religious, profession, or worship without discrimination or preference shall forever be allowed, freedom of speech or of the press. No law granting a title of nobility shall be enacted. No law impairing the obligation of contract shall be passed. No ex post facto law or bill attainder shall be enacted.
That's all for our report. Thank you for listening. Hope you learned something new.